Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate how to make these cute little fabric bowls. Now in this one, I have just my sewing clips that I like to use. So you can use these for organizing your sewing items, or I've got little heart-shaped candy in this Valentine one. And then you can just do one extra step and put a little strap on it and make it a little mini Easter candy basket. You don't need a lot of supplies, just a couple of squares of your fabric, 10-inch squares by fat quarters, and 4 buttons and heavy iron-on interfacing. So let's get started. For this demonstration, I'm using 2 squares, different fabrics that complement each other, and I'm cutting them 10 inches square. Then on each piece, you're going to cut a square of fusible iron-on interfacing, and it's going to be 9.5 inches square. So you need one for each piece. The reason why I'm using 2 is because I want the little basket to be really stiff. Now if you want to use any other type of interfacing, like cotton batting, fleece, fusible fleece, anything else you would like to use, but I found this works the best. Center your interfacing on top, and you're going to have about 1/4 inch of fabric extending out past all edges. Follow package instructions for fusing it on. It's really easy, not difficult at all. Take your 2 fabrics and bring them front sides, right side, pretty side, that's what it's called, together. So now you're looking at the interfacing side on both pieces. Place pins around the edges, and then you're going to indicate an area that you're going to leave open. I've left, let's see, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 inches here. This fabric is really stiff with the interfacing on it, and it's going to be easier to turn front side out if you leave a wider opening. So stitch 1/4 inch seam, so back stitch here, stitch down to the corner and stop 1/4 inch away, then leave your needle down through your fabric. Turn your fabric and continue stitching. And so at all corners, you always want to leave the needle down through the fabric. As you stitch around and you come back here, then you want to back stitch again. After you're done stitching, then you want to trim some of the fabric off of the corners. So you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch. Try not to cut through your stitch line. And so after I've cut across like that, then I'm going to take just a tiny bit off of the side of the corner. And again, you want to do this at all 4 corners. Now, reach in between your opening and begin pushing the inside out. Now, this is really stiff. Now, this next step is just a suggestion, but I find if I crumple it up like this, you're going to press it again later, it makes it a little easier to turn it front side out. So as I said, you're going to go in through that opening in between your outside fabrics and begin pushing it out. After you've turned it front side out, then reach inside and poke your corners out as much as you can. At the opening, turn your edges in 1/4 of an inch and press this opening, and continue pressing this entire square flat. Then go ahead and pin your opening closed, then start in one corner and stitch a 1/8 of an inch from the edge here in. So stitch all the way around all 4 sides. Again, 1/8 of an inch from the edge and back stitch at the beginning and the end. For this next step, make sure you have the fabric that you want to show on the outside of the little bowl facing up right now. And then you're going to fold it corner to corner like this. Okay, and make sure it's lined up really well. Then take a ruler of some type, and you're going to measure from this corner in, anywhere from 2 3/4 inches to 3 inches. And I'm doing 2 3/4 inches. It's really going to be up to you. In the end, this little corner that's folded over is going to be a little bit larger if you do the 3 inches. And then wherever that measurement is that you want, go ahead and place a pin there. Now on this next step, you have two different ways you can do this. You can take a needle and thread and just tack the two edges together, just going around and around. Hand stitching is very hard for me because of an injury to one of my hands. So what I like to do is take my sewing machine and I pretty much stitch in place. I might go back 1 or 2 stitches and forward again, and I'll do that several times. After you get this corner done, then go over here and do the same thing. Measure where you want it to go, put a pin there, and either hand stitch it down or machine stitch. After you have these two sides stitched, open it up, and you're going to fold it in half again. Then again, measure from this corner. Like I said, I'm doing 2 3/4 inches. Put a pin there and do a little tack stitch or hand stitch, and then go over to this side and do the same thing. Make sure it's evenly folded and then stitch it down. Now turn it front side out. And try to press the bottom edge down. And as you're pressing the bottom edge down, open these up like this. And you're probably going to have to put your fingers in there to get it to open up. And you want to go to all 4 corners and do that. Make sure that the edge here on the inside of your little pointed corner is even with this edge. And now you're going to fold it over like that. Now, there's a couple of ways you can finish this off. You can take a needle and thread and tack these little pointed corners over. And while you're doing it, you can put a little button of your choice. Now for me, hand stitching is a nightmare, and especially through all this fabric, so you can also hot glue this tab down, which is what I'm going to do, and then hot glue your button. And that's all there is to making this a little basket. Now you can put anything you want in it. You can use it for maybe putting some of your sewing supplies in it, your pins, your clips, whatever it is you want to use. But my favorite thing to do is always at Valentine is these little heart-shaped candies. This is Dove dark chocolate, my favorite. And you can put little candies in it. For this one here, I put a little handle on it. So let me show you how to do that. I took a 10-inch long piece of fabric by 2.5 inches wide. My little piece of heavy iron-on interfacing is 9.5 inches long by 3/4 of an inch wide. Press your edges, fuse it on first, the interfacing. Then fold each end over 1/4 of an inch. Then go out to this edge here and fold and press 1/4 of an inch. Then take this and you're just going to begin wrapping it around and fold it over this way. And then you're going to stitch along this edge all the way down this side and then down across the bottom. Then when I went to stitch it on, right here, you'll see a little square. So I just inserted this into my sewing machine and just stitched a little box shape. And you do that on each end of the little handle. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you try making these. This is a really quick project. You can make it out of your scrap fabrics. You don't need a lot of fabric for this. If you don't have any fabric, buy a couple of fat quarters. That's all you're going to need. Now this one, it's got heart-shaped buttons. If you want buttons like this, you can buy them in large packages of novelty buttons. Walmart, I know, sells them, and I'm pretty sure Joann's does too. So you can either get bags with a variety of novelty buttons. Sometimes you can find them where all they have is one particular shape, flowers, whatever you want to use. If you're interested in other beginners sewing projects, check below your YouTube screen for those video links. Scroll down to the description section. Click on the down arrow to expand that little window area open, and you'll see a lot of links there. And by the way, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and make sure you go and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.